Hello guys, I'm going to be teaching you how to play Yellow by Coldplay. It's a cool song, one of the, after you learn Wonderwall, right? Most people want to learn some Coldplay songs. And the first thing I would like for you guys to do is tune your guitar to standard tuning, because Yellow, at least for Chris Martin, he uses a slightly different tuning. I don't know if it's 100% right, because you can still play it. But it does have a slightly different sound if you use that slightly different tuning. So it might be worth doing, and I'm going to be showing the song, quote unquote, how it's supposed to be done. I'm not too sure if that's the way it's supposed to be done, but I've seen other, tablature or whatever done this way. So tune your guitar to standard tuning. So we have E, A, D, G, B, E. And for the D string, we're going to go down to the B note. So 10th fret of the low E is a D, and 7th fret is a B. So that's the note we really want. And there's an easy way to get it. Just use the open B string, the second skinniest string right here. And we're going to tune down that D string. And there we go. That's it. That's what we need. Might go down a little bit. It's a little too far. Go back up. Right there. Perfect. And there's our B note for the D string. Pretty simple, pretty easy. You don't really need to use a tuner from this point on. And then the high E string has to go down to an E flat. You could call it E flat, you could call it D sharp. It doesn't really matter. It's the same note because it's in between a D and an E. So if you go up from a D, that's a D sharp. But if you go down from an E, it's called an E flat. It's the same thing. Normally, we could use the 5th fret of the B string. That would be an E, but we need to have the E flat. It's down 1 fret. So it's the 4th fret of the B string. So that's a note we need. So I'm going to tune down the E string using the 4th fret of the B. I'm going to tune down the high E string. Went too far. Now I'm going back up. There we go. That's pretty close. And now we can play those chords, and it's a piece of cake. Now let's get started with the parts of Yellow. We have the intro riff, the main riff, right, and then we have the verse chords, which was what I was playing a little bit earlier, and then we have the chorus. Okay, so let's start with, and then we have a little change at the very end. Okay, so 8th fret of the high E. One thing I'm going to tell you is that I'm not going to be changing the names of any of the strings. They're all going to be the conventional standard tuning names. So I'm not going to call this string up here an E flat or call the D string a B, because that would get really confusing. So I'm just going to call everything as if it was in standard tuning. So the high E string, it's the 8th fret, and the G string, 9th fret. So I'm using 2 fingers. And we have an open D string, and we have the open B string, okay? And what we're going to do is this kind of thing. Okay, and that's just a hammer on 9 to 11 on the G, where I strike, and as soon as I strike the note, I put my finger down. You could just start at the 11th fret if you want. And then you go down to the 9th fret on the G string. So it sounds like this. So it's just going between 9 and 11 on the G, 8th fret of the high E, open D string, open B string. And that's going to be the same throughout this whole thing, where it's going to be an open D string, open B string. So then we go 12th fret of the high E, 13 to 15 on the G string. And then back down like that. So one more time. And what I'm doing there is just down, 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 up, down, 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 switching to the next chord. That's kind of the idea, general idea. I'm not, maybe I'm doing something a little bit different, but that's kind of the idea I'm getting from this. And then we have 3rd fret of the high E, 4 to 6 on the G, so it sounds like this. Last part goes like this. So back again to the 8th fret, 9, 11 on the G. And right in that moment is when we hit our first chord. The first chord being a B chord into the verse. Okay, so I'm going to play that intro one more time. I'm going to play it kind of slow. So it's going to start right here, 8th fret of the high E, 9 to 11 on the G, and then moving to the other positions here. 1, 2, 3, 4. To that first chord, right on that beat. That said, look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and everything you do. And so it's a B major chord, and then an F sharp major 6 chord, then an E major 7-ish chord. Okay? And so what we have here is 7th fret of the low E, 9th fret of the A, open D, 8th fret of the G string, open B, and open high E for all of these chords. In fact, for the entire song, that's really what you got for the chords, right? For the chorus and the verse, that's what you got. Open B, open high E. So it's always those are always ringing on top. And so this chord sounds like this. And then sometimes it goes up to a suspended kind of major chord, so it sounds like this. So what I do there is on my pinky, the G string, I go up to the 9th fret. The second chord is an F sharp major 6, 2nd fret of the low E, 4th on the A, 4 on the D, 3 on the G, open B, open high E. Sounds like that. Then we have an E major 7 chord, and it's basically just 2nd fret of the A string, open D, 1st fret of the G string. Everything else is open, so an open E, open B, right? So it sounds like that. So we're only fretting 2 notes on that, but everything else is open. So just to kind of play it in time. Etc., etc. And I'll do a little playthrough at the end so that way you can see how all of this pieces together. That said, let's go over to the chorus chords. It's going to be fairly simple. They're already chords that we know except for one. So it's an E major 7. It's that chord first. And then we have a G sharp minor, which is 4th fret of the low E. And I mute the A string with my thumb. So I'm playing one note on the low E and muting the other one. Fourth fret the D, fourth fret the G, and of course open B, open high E. Sounds like that. And then we go down to this F sharp major 6 chord that I showed you earlier. Right? So it goes like this. When you're ending the verse, the very, very end of the verse, it goes like this. So it goes from the major, B major, to the B major suspended. And when you're ending the chorus, it goes... stay on that E major 7, and then back to the... Okay, so I'll show that in a little bit, and then the very last thing I need to show you is how the song ends. The song ends with the same exact chords of the verse, except the second chord, the F sharp major 6, becomes an F sharp minor, and it transforms the song a little bit. It changes it, it turns it, and it makes it interesting again. So we have the B major, and then we go to that chord, which is second fret of the E, mute the A, second fret of the D, second fret of the G, and then we end with an E major 7. Okay. As for strumming, I highly recommend just listening to the song as much as you can. Get comfortable with changing positions from here to here to here, you know, changing to all these different chords. You have to get very comfortable doing that before you get comfortable strumming. A lot of guys want to figure out what the heck the strumming pattern is before they can even finger the chords or know how much pressure it takes to do it. But you really don't need to fuss about it. It's not something that's terribly important to know right offhand. Just as a quick thing, I'm doing kind of like a down, 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 up, down, 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 up, something like that, down to the F sharp major 6, which I think I'm just doing like downstrokes. Stuff like that, and then I do kind of like an upstroke at the end, and down, 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 up, down, 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 something like that. Okay, don't get too bogged down by strumming patterns or all that. Just get a sense for the song by knowing the chords first, and then you can, you know, get the timing down. Because that's probably the hardest thing right offhand, is just kind of moving between these chords and all these different things going on. So, let me play through the song. I probably won't be able to sing like Chris Martin, but hey, whatever. It's just to give you a reference on how the song goes. So let's do the main intro riff into the verse, into the chorus, and then we're going to end as if it was the end of the song. Okay, so it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You Look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and everything that you do. Alright, that's the general idea. I did forget to talk about the Look How They Shine for You part, and all that is literally just the verse chords just repeating. You could just listen to the song and you'll get it down, hopefully. So any questions, any comments, any whatever, you can feel free to leave your whatever kind of ideas, or if it did help you, by all means do let me know that it did help you, because that helps me to understand what I can improve on whenever I do song tutorials. So again, just step-by-step kind of basis, change the tuning, learn the intro riff, learn the verse chords, learn the chorus chords, and then just learn that change at the very, very end, where it goes from B major to F sharp minor to E major 7. That's all you really need to know. Everything else I'm doing in terms of strumming and all that is extra that you can develop on your own. It takes time. Don't stress about it. You'll get there. Okay, so thanks for watching. Hope it helps you guys out.